to you. And today marks 5 years since the Boston Marathon bombing, the terrorist attack killing 3 and injuring more than 250. 23 ABC's Natalie Tarrant-Jolie sat down with a Bakersfield couple who was there on that tragic day, witnessed the bombs go off, and has more on how that day forever changed their lives. Good morning, Natalie.
Yeah, good morning, Faven. It was 5 years to this day, just moments after Bakersfield resident Hope Roe finished her second Boston Marathon. Her husband Dennis shared this post on Facebook. You can see that picture of her there. He says, 7 minutes after I took this picture, 2 bombs exploded at the finish line, and this is a day that quickly became one they will never forget.
Since 2006, Hope Roe has run 22 marathons.
Just the 22 of them. It's been fun.
Roe, an ER nurse in Bakersfield, rarely repeats races, with the exception of one.
There is no marathon like Boston. There is nothing like it.
5 years after the Boston Marathon bombing, she remembers that day vividly.
It's still a big deal.
Roe traveled from Bakersfield to Boston for that race on April 15, 2013, for what would be her second Boston Marathon.
I've got my bib from my first Boston Marathon that I did in 2011.
Roe's husband, Dennis, has been to nearly all of Hope's races.
My job is basically her support team.
So for the 2013 race, they plan to meet in the same spot they did in 2011, about a block from the finish line just before she gets her medal, so he can take her picture.
I started off that morning directly across the street from where the second bomb was. Didn't know that at the time.
Just minutes after Dennis snapped this picture of his wife, the bombs went off.
And I pulled out my phone, and my phone was dead. No life, no battery.
Hope, with no phone to reach her husband, retracing her steps to where she saw Dennis last.
So I headed up the street, and I turned, and I'm still looking at my phone, willing it to come to life.
Whipped around, started diving through the people, working my way up that block, and I put my hand on the rail.
And he's kind of looking to make sure no one's going to stop him, and that's when he saw me.
Miraculously, finding each other within minutes, Hope, a travel ER nurse, and Dennis, a now retired Bakersfield firefighter, were compelled to help that day.
Because I'm an ER nurse, and I didn't do anything, I always felt a little guilty.
After hearing how efficient Massachusetts General Hospital was with helping the bombing victims, Hope knew how she could give back to Boston.
When I called the interview at Mass General, I told him, I said that was one of the things I wanted to work there for, because I knew how hard it is to get a crowded ER, and then you have to empty it for all those people that were coming through.
After nearly 30 years with BFD, Dennis retired in April 2015. The couple moved to Boston in October that year. Hope giving back to Boston, working at Mass General.
I think I would have cared less about where I worked in Boston. It wouldn't have made a big deal where it been kind of like wherever you can get me, instead of I want Mass General.
Hope went on to run in the Boston Marathon again in 2016 and 2017. She's already looking forward to the 125th marathon in 2021.
There's nothing like that town. It is amazing.
And now the Roes have since moved back to Bakersfield, but they're hoping to move to Boston permanently in a few years. They say the city has always felt like home. In studio, Natalie Tarrant-Jolie, 23 ABC.
Natalie.